and Ayala Mall solar exhibits. So please make sure that you check that out. Solar Week Mindanao happened last year, and we also had Technical Tuesday. Here's a preview of what happened the year before. Last year's Technical Tuesday program, which was meant to act right on solar, did just that. We had with us engineer John Ralph Ebora of New Energy Nexus, who taught us the very basics of solar tech with a little bit of fun history, leaving us with this quote: solar is the most simple and beautiful energy technology. It's really, really magical. Of course, Engineer Ralph went on to detailing the magical way of how it works with converting light energy to electricity. He also outlined 4 grand energy challenges addressed by solar: energy access, security, environmental impact, and cost, therefore concluding why it is best for Mindanao and for the Philippines in general. Then after, we heard from engineer Christine Salvaloza from one of the solar suppliers who helped us with our research. Engineer Christine Salvaloza from one of the solar suppliers who helped us with our research was there, and Engineer Christine discussed the beginner's guide to going solar, including outlining types of panels and batteries and the different types of systems: off-grid, grid-tied, and hybrid systems and their components. And more importantly, the benefits of solar for homes, offices, farms, and factories in Mindanao, which will be available to them. If you'd like to rewatch this show from last year, you can always visit our YouTube channel. It's where all videos are available there. Sometimes when I'm in my free time, I go ahead and go to the YouTube channel of Mindanao Goes Solar and check out all the videos available there. Now, before we head to this year's formal Technical Tuesday program, I want to tell you about something super interesting that we did here at Mindanao Goes Solar in support of the Mindanao Goes Solar movement's goals of accelerating the energy transition in the region through solar. We launched ang atong ginatawag nga Solar Suroy, which was a call for our followers to submit their own video content on the existing solar that they see in Mindanao. We started with a Solar Suroy in the home of one of Northern Mindanao's most popular influencers, Miss Nicole Abbas, who will be joining us this week. Let's watch this.
Hey guys, this is Nicole Abastatayan and welcome to my home at the farm. So, this is one of our very conscious decisions to move to the farm. Okay, syempre no, obviously fresher air and also to become a little bit more self-sufficient. We have our own water pump. O sa likod makita ninyo nga namin little farming, vegetable farming going on. Natay mga ginagmay, nga mga lettuce, tomatoes, uban pa. But most of all, one of our conscious decisions is really to go solar gyud. For us, it was really good to be also teaching our daughter to be more environmentally conscious. Kay, as we all know, using solar also means lesser carbon footprint. Diba? And how else do we use it at home? We will answer that when you come with me and check out my Solar Suroy here in my home at the farm.
We had our home installed with solar panels with enough capacity to power lights, a little bit of air conditioning, and a few electrical outlets, and even a water pump. Other appliances that run from solar is our ref, the fans, and our water cooler. Most importantly, our water source is assured. This, combined with our little farming, makes us self-sufficient in a holistic way, with our own energy, water, and food source.
This has been Nicole Abastatayan and mao na to ang akong Solar Suroy. O kamo po din ha, if you want to share with us ang inyong solar energy experience, Share with us and get the chance to win special prizes from Mindanao Go Solar. How to join? Monisha.
1. Make an Instagram reel or TikTok about your solar life. Show us around a solar-powered home or office, or take us to see a solar installation in your community, such as a solar street lamp in your neighborhood, a solar water pump in a nearby farm, solar panels on a friend's roof, or an installation at an office you know. 2. Post it on Instagram or TikTok and tag at Mindanao Go Solar and use the hashtag Mindanao Go Solar. 3. Make sure to keep your accounts public. We will announce one winner of 1,000 pesos every week, starting the last week of February until the first week of June 2023. As we know, the sun is a source of boundless energy, and it is illuminating our lives and communities in Mindanao like never before. Through the power of solar, we're making a positive impact on the world, one panel at a time. We look forward to your Solar Suroy videos, inspiring others towards a sustainable solar future. And don't forget to follow the Mindanao Go Solar movement on all our channels.
Grabe, changing the world one solar panel at a time. Murag lami kayo magsuroy sa inyong balay, sa inyong farm, Miss Nicole Abas. No, murag excited kay ko. Untay mo kong i-invite. I'm just one text away. That was very fun. Thank you so much for that first solar suroy by Nicole. Now, if you missed it ganina, my name is Val and I'm from the Association of Young Environmental Journalists, or AYEJ, and I'll be your host for Technical Tuesday. Technical Tuesday is part of Solar Week this year, and Solar Week is the flagship event of the Mindanao Go Solar movement. And what is this? It is a knowledge and information extravaganza about solar for Mindanaoans, para nato ng mga taga Mindanao. For those of you who don't know, we are broadcast live on the Mindanao Go Solar Movement's Facebook and YouTube channels, and our streaming partners, AYEJ, and the professional organizers. We also acknowledge our media partners. Daghang salamat sa Business Week Mindanao and the Mindanao Daily for working with us to make sure nga madunggan ug mapasibya pa atong ginabuhat diri sa Solar Week Mindanao. So, this year, 2023, gusto ta mo ipakita usub kung unsa ang gakahitabo apart sa atong mga studio nga kasikas na po'y gakahitabo sa atong nga malls dira sa Cagayan de Oro City o sa Davao City. We are actually featuring a local exhibit of solar suppliers in both Ayala Abriza Mall in Davao and Ayala Centrio in Cagayan de Oro. Check out these clips on the ground para makakita mo unsa bagyud ang gakahitabo karon sa Centrio Mall sa Cagayan de Oro ug sa Abriza Mall sa Davao, ang atong pinakasikat nga daghan kayo gaduol karon sa ilaha. Mo sila artista, mo sila influencer, ang atuhang solar charging stops. These solar charging stops are, of course, powered by no less than the sun, our good old friend, the sun. Now, these solar charging stops, very cool solar installation, which allows you to charge your gadgets. So for those of you friends like me nga sige mo lakaw sa balay nga dili ka charge, go now to Centrio Ayala Mall and the Abriza para mag-charge sa inyong gadgets. Okay, we're up for our second solar suroy. Kinsa gani ang atong ilaag og isuroy for this time. This is a sample of one of our Pibo na solar suroy entry from Taguluan, Misamis Oriental. Rica, it's your time to shine.
Solar ng Bayan. Mayong adlaw sa tanan, ako si Rica May H. Lafuente from Taguluan, Misamis Oriental, and this is my Solar Suroy entry. Dagko nga tabang sa solar light sa mua, kay tungod ani nakasave kami sa kuryente. Ug dili lang kana, diri sa among lungsod, solar light na ang ginagamit. so much and God bless. Mag-solar na ta!
There you have it, mo na atong second nga Solar Suroy. We thank everyone for their entries sa ilang Solar Suroy. Na-realize nato sa atong Solar Suroy nga indot yun magsuroy-suroy sa Mindanao kay daghan na ang gagamit ug daghan na ang makabenepisyo sa solar. Now, we get down to our Technical Tuesday and welcome our guests who come all the way from Nazareth. Joke lang, all the way from the Netherlands. You know, this country in Northern Europe is the continent's solar leader. Halaval, unsay pasabot kung ikaw usa ka nasud nga ginatawag nga solar leader? We will find out later. It has a forward-thinking government which employs innovative solutions to overcome the lack of space. Now, it has an average of 2 solar panels per inhabitant, wow, and an installed capacity of more than 1 kilowatt per Dutch person, making it Europe's per capita solar powerhouse. Wow. Let's talk more about this by welcoming our first Dutch guest here in the studio. Allow me to introduce him. He was born in the Netherlands at the age of 24 and came for the first time to the Philippines to teach in the Mindanao School of Arts and Trades, which is now MUST, in the Department of Applied Electronics. He found his Filipina wife, Jessie, and they married in 1981 and had 2 children. Back in the Netherlands, he and his family became more aware of the environmental implications of our modern way of living. They actively participated in the creation of a more sustainable subdivision. In 2003, they moved to this place and were very early adapters of solar panels on roofs that could return power to the grid. And 3 years ago, they moved again to an old garage together with their daughters and her family. They renovated the garage with a lot of sustainable measures like wall isolation, heat pumps, but especially a grid-tied solar system to provide for our electric power. Grabe. It feels like I want to visit that garage nga medyo grabe ka sustainable, no? Everyone, please help me welcome. And don't think that he won't be able to speak Bisaya because he can speak Bisaya. Welcome to the studio for Solar Week Mindanao, Mr. Minder Koch. Hello. Good afternoon. Maayong hapon.
Nice to be here. Maayo kayo. Maayong hapon.
How are you feeling right now, Sir Minder?
Maayo kayo kay bibo kayo mga tao din ya ang course lami kayo no solar sa Mindanao okay kayo.
You know, I'm smiling from ear to ear because it's not every day, no, nga makakita og makamit ko og Dutch person nga makakaton nga makakasabot og makastorya og Bisaya. If we could summarize, pila nakakatuig na diri sa Pilipinas?
Sa una nagtrabaho ko mga 7 ka tuig no sa Cagayan de Oro gyud no ang eskwelahan sa ENSAT sa una pero karon university na gyud karon. So 7 ka tuig so natuong ko og Cebuano.
Grabe, dili ni ba basta-basta si Sir Mindert, no? So, hinahinay lang ta. Sir Mindert, many questions later. I'm so excited to be in conversation with you regarding the way you have become one of the early adopters of solar in your own family and in your own household. But first, I understand, no, you have 2 contemporaries who could not join us in the studio today. So, our producer has interviewed them in advance. These 2 guests are, and I will be introducing them. The first is Aryan Heinen. Aryan is working with small-scale fishers in the coastal areas in the Philippines. He is active in the management of the common shared resources. He's currently living in Baliangao, a small coastal town in Misamis Occidental. Given the threats of climate change, due to the misuse of our common atmosphere for the dumping of our waste products, the challenge of common resource management, small and large, is the main challenge. He is pioneering with solar alternatives as a contribution to climate action and has a 50 kilowatt system or 6 medium-sized panels with a 6 kilowatt inverter and a battery that can store 58 volts. During midday, his home cooks on an induction plate. Wow! When using the stored energy wisely, his system can power through the night without draining the battery. Here is our message from Aryan. Aryan?
Netherlands has become leader just a few years, just the last 1 year or 2 years, because before it was Germany that was much more advanced. Germany had a very high tariff speed in the rates, so people in Germany, you saw already large fields of solar panels delivering to the net, and in the Netherlands it's started just when the prices of electricity started to rise very fast. And then that's people started to invest, and I think it's the big chunk of people who joined the movement of putting solar panels on their roofs are doing it because it makes money. It's their investment. The early people who put the panels on their roofs, they did it more out of climate consciousness, trying to help a little bit in curbing global warming. But the most people in the Netherlands who join do it just because it makes also because it makes it makes them money. So it's a combination of making money and doing something for the environment. Dugay-dugay ako sa Pilipinas na nakabot na ko 86. Tapos off and on ko nagtrabaho dari sa Pilipinas until 2000. And then karon mga 2020 nabalik na mi akong misis dari sa Mindanao. So ang community dari sa Pilipinas mo pa na physical community. Hindi parehas sa Netherlands na family, pero isang family ties, you lose. Ang dili kaayo mo care ang mga tao sa ilang mga silingan na sa dari sa Pilipinas mas community sensitive pa mga tao. May mga advantage, may mga disadvantage niya na, pero in terms sa akong trabaho, kay fisheries man akong trabaho, so kinahanglan magka-sinap ka na yung mga tao. May mga na sa Pilipinas na maka-tapok-tapok ang mga tao mag-scoot. So that's, I think, the difference between we have our own unit of solar panels on our roof. We have a converter and a battery system, and that provides our electricity for the whole night. And during the day, we use it for our also for our cooking, and that's I think something that's really where you should go into. If you set up a solar system in your own house, you should do the cooking during noontime when there's a lot of sun, and that when you get immediately the converted energy put it into your stove and cook on it. That's where I think you can make the most profit, because that saves a lot of gasol. And when it comes to use of solar in fisheries, there are many small-scale fishers, especially the more advanced ones, who use sonar technology to kind of fish finders, and they fish with lights during the night, but during the day they have to charge the batteries. So using solar panels to charge those batteries, that's not yet that common, but it would be very useful for the fishermen to do. In our project, we have one outboard motor working on battery, and we charge that using the solar panels. So it's now more used as a patrol boat, but can also be used for fishing activities. You still have to go into that more to find out if it's profitable to do it already with those small houseboat motors, but it's a start.
Yeah. Sa Netherlands, sir, naano po kayo experience with solar?
The Netherlands, it's 2001 when we returned to the Netherlands for the high school of our children, and I put up four panels on our roof already at that time. It was heavily subsidized. I did not have to pay much for the panels, and those were just the panels that fed into the net. So it reduced our electricity bill a little. There in the Netherlands, functioning for more than 20 years. So that's another point. Yeah, when we were here in end of 1990s, we also got solar panel from a German who left, and when we left, we donated it to a farmhouse in a remote area in Mindanao, and up to now, so that's more than 30 years. That panel is delivering electricity to the farmhouse. So it's you can see those panels are really sturdy, and they work for long years. Our particular to solar, that's a good question, because if it comes to comparing Filipinos to Dutch, I see only individuals. There are very thrifty Dutch, and there are very lazy Dutch, and there are very thrifty Filipinos, very lazy Filipinos. It's people. But when it comes to solar, I think Filipinos can learn from the Dutch the economics behind it. Just see how much money you have in the bank, or what you can get as a loan, and how much interest rates would be, and calculate how the return on your investments, and well, see if it's profitable for you or not. But most of the time, I think it's very profitable. The advantage is you don't have brownout. That's also some advantage in Mindanao. There are sometimes brownouts. My own initiatives are Mindanao Go Solar. I think that's is good, and especially if you can also influence policy, and if you can encourage people to set up a system, that's very good. I think it's a laudable initiative, and I think especially in the remote areas, the government should not invest in power lines going to remote areas and big roads going there. That's really destructive. If you can bring solar to those areas, to those remote areas, and power tools, make them electric, processing of food from those remote areas, and only transport the furniture or the processed food to the cities, because you can and you can do that by using solar. So that would be a very nice development if that would take place in Mindanao, and I think it's possible. It's a good start.
Daghang salamat kaayo, Sir Aryan, no? And it's really nice to see how you are able to use solar in the way you live your life right now with your family. And it's really replicable. It's a model that you can do with your own family as well. And nakita nato sa presentation ug sa conversation ni Sir Aryan no nga posible, kaya buhaton o daghan pa kay pwede nimong buhaton. And medyo ni stick to ang iyang giingon no nga mapa-Dutch baka, mapa-Filipino baka, naagyapoy thrifty kinds of people, naagyapoy mga lazy kinds of people. It's really up to you as a person to understand what is at stake and to do something about it. Now we have a second video from one of our colleagues again, and allow me to introduce him. His work experience is primarily in organic farming methods. Oops, sorry. He's also a consultant in tropical beekeeping. Wow. He worked as a Dutch volunteer from 1981 to 1987 as advisor on organic farming in Misamis Occidental. He returned permanently to the Philippines in 2014, and he is now retired and enjoys developing his farm using responsible farming techniques. He became interested in applying solar energy as part of sustainable living approach. His present solar configuration provides about, listen to this, 90% of total energy demand in his current location. Please give it up for Mr. Evert Jan Roberts.
Is the leader, no, in solar, and that is that might be because the Netherlands is very much innovative worldwide, so also in the agriculture sector, but also in energy sector. So they continuously look for new sources, and maybe it also has to do with the recent events in Ukraine, the shortcut of the availability of gas coming from Russia. So people really have to look for alternatives, no? And that is mostly. I was in Holland last August, and then I really noticed more solar panels on the roofs of the houses and on factories and on other types of buildings. And I understand there's now 2 solar panels average per Dutch family. So that is a big improvement. That is a good thing, a good development. Yeah. I left the Netherlands in 1997. Then I moved to the southern part of Europe, to Spain. So I see more communities with Spain, but between the Netherlands and Mindanao, of course, it's totally different culture. First of all, the people are taller in the Netherlands, and if I feel, but I'm not very big. I feel very small when I'm in the Netherlands because all the other people are so tall already. But in terms of energy distribution, if we keep it to the solar, there is a lot to do in the Philippines still, and especially in Mindanao. The people in Mindanao, they are also very innovative. They're open for new technologies, so that is good. I came here for the first time in the 1980s, and there was no electricity on the location where I was assigned. Everything was still Petromax if you wanted to have some light in the evening. Now we are 40 years later, and I have my own solar supply. 80% of our needs for solar is addressed. And if you look at the future, the energy coming from now the conventional method, it is not stable. So like a very good example this morning, something like 3 o'clock in the morning, there was no electricity. And luckily, because we have our own solar, you don't notice it, but the only thing you notice it because there's no internet anymore. It is unreliable, the energy supply, and that is kind of uneasy because you don't know if there's a brownout, it is not announced. You also don't know when it will be back, etc. So that is a stimulus for people who want to go solar to consider those kind of circumstances. Mindanao is a very good destination for solar, although still the local companies, like here we work with Muelsi, is not very open yet, we notice, if we want to feed in the grid. Energy bills are rising, the prices are rising. It is now more than 16 peso. Well, and that's, I understand, one of the most expensive ones in the country. So that is also a stimulus for people to start thinking about installing solar energy, no matter how big or small it is. The company that did the installation for us is extremely professional. They have regular checkup if everything is okay, and that is of course very important because it is a new technology for this part of the world. So it is very important that there are no hiccups. The installation is done in a professional way. The support is done in a professional way, so people don't get disappointed about this kind of new green energy. And it is really fantastic if you notice that if there's a brownout, the neighbors don't have electricity, and you can continue doing what you want to do. And that does also apply new services to your farm. If you're on a farmland, you can do solar irrigation. So you can plant earlier and harvest earlier. You don't rely on rain season or whatever. You can just continue planting all year round, because you can, if you have your good water supply and it is done in a proper way, you can store the water, and from there you can irrigate your land. What you can see from the Dutch people, what I have experienced now, is the Dutch are very much open to new innovations. Unlike the Philippines are less reluctant to change, but I think the good thing is that if changes are coming, they are usually coming from Filipinos who have been working abroad. They have seen how things are done in other countries. So they are the new innovators. There's a young generation coming into the Philippines back, and they see how solar is done. They see how other things are done in other countries. So I think they are the ones who will be the game changer in setting up solar system and improving energy supplies, especially to the rural centers, because the overseas workers don't come from the big cities, they come from rural areas. And we know, especially where we live in Sinacaban, there's a large number of overseas workers. So they come and go. And every time they come and go, they bring with them new ideas. They bring with them, they used to bring very big sound machines from back in the 80s, so they can show it off. But now they are more like setting up their own farm and installing solar energy. So that's really a positive thing what the Filipinos are learning from going abroad. For the Mindanao Go Solar, I think it is a fantastic initiative. It is putting one seed in the ground, talking in organic farming methods, ways. That seed in the ground will be watered with new initiatives, with young generations, with the need to improve, with the support of the Philippine government and local LGUs, who see that there's a new time coming up. We cannot deny that. And the way things are going, I think there's. I also hear that from the from my own installer. They are getting more and more busy, and investing in conventional methods like cabling, etc. The Philippines does not have to do that anymore. I compare it to the mobile phone. In South America, they were still having to, and maybe also in the Philippines, they still had to put cables in the ground or above the ground for connecting telephones, the old-fashioned way. That kind of investment is no longer needed. The moment mobile phones came, they didn't have to do that kind of investment anymore. So innovations being done abroad will benefit the Filipino people. They don't have to invest so much anymore in the old-fashioned method. And if they invest directly in solar, that will be a big help. So therefore, Mindanao Go Solar really has to be pushed through and supported 100%.
Thank you so much, Sir Evert, no? If there's one thing that really stuck with me, ang katong iyang ginabalik-balik pirmi nga, there's so much opportunity in Mindanao for it to go solar fully, for it to really be a leader in solar. And so I think we should take this to heart and realize that if Dutch people can see that for Mindanao, then kita, mga kapwa Mindanaoans, we should also see that for our own land as well. Thank you so much for your inputs. And now, joining me here in the studio for his inputs as well, introducing back on the virtual stage. Now, he's actually beside me here in the live studio, Sir Mindert. Hello, Sir Mindert, again. Ay,
Hello.
nakadawog na ka sa imong mga colleagues, no? Nadunggan na nimo ang ilang mga opinion. So, let's head straight away to continue our Technical Tuesday with our question and answer portion. Dili ni Miss Universe, ayog ka bala ka.
Okay.
We'll just get to know about you more, get to know about your opinions, and really the way you have been living life in the most sustainable way that you can.
Sige.
Sige. First question siguro, what is your personal opinion, no? Why Netherlands? Let's focus first on the country where you come from. Why Netherlands has become Europe's solar leader? What led to this? Nganong naana diri karon ang Netherlands?
I think sa beginning, it was also like stimulant sa gobyerno, no? The first mga solar panels were very cheap to install. No?
I
The
see.
government really
Yeah.
stimulated putting solar panels.
Yeah.
Like when we put solar panels on a roof, like in 2003, but the whole Tibo Gasto, it was shouldered by the government because they
Wow.
really wanted to get this solar energy going.
Right.
First, they maybe thought also we can make the solar panels in the Netherlands, but later on, all the solar panels were made in Japan and in China.
Yeah.
But still, they really wanted to push this industry, and they really gave nice subsidy on the solar panels. Only later on, when the solar panels became very cheap, it was no more need for all the subsidies. So now there is a business model on its own. You
Right.
know, you can really earn money from installing solar. At the beginning, it was really much more expensive. So then the government stepped in to really give nice incentives
Mhm.
to install this solar energy.
I think that's a very clear perspective on your first step on making sure that communities adopt solar. How do you make it so? Make solar cheap. Make solar affordable. Because I think, I'm sure Maynard, dire sa Mindanao, there is maybe in general, there is a common misconception that renewable energy is expensive in general. And so, well, I talked with one of our speakers yesterday, no? Ingon siya nga, solar is getting cheaper. And so, kay kita mga Pilipino, no? We have to take care of our breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and we have to take care of school, our kids. So, we need to make sure that our access to solar panels kay cheap sad, nga dili siya burden
Yes.
instead. So, I think the Netherlands doing it. Yeah, sir.
Yes, it would be nice if there are also like affordable loans, no, for
Yeah.
solar panels. That's very important. So it's cheap, but also makakuha og kwarta, no?
Yeah.
Asa tao kuha og kwarta. Yan ang importante gyapon.
Mo yan ang pinaka-importante, end of the day,
Yeah.
that we benefit from it, that we earn from it. But really, for solar, there are ROIs, or return on investment, and there are also SROIs, social return on investments, that people need to think about when they transition to solar. Now, you've been here in Mindanao for about 7 years now, you mentioned, and then you were in the Netherlands as well. Have you thought of commonalities? What things does Netherlands and Mindanao have in common? Is it the people, the culture, the land? How similar are we?
I think people in the Philippines and Mindanao are also very flexible, and also they want to look to other pastures. No, you see a lot of Filipinos who go abroad to find means of living there, and I think in the Dutch before we're also very going over the world to experience and to see new boundaries. So I think that's a commonality. No, how to experience new things and be flexible. So also be curious. I think Filipinos are also curious, so we can adapt to new technologies.
Thank you so much for that. And so you use solar in Netherlands, right?
Yes.
And then you also use solar in Mindanao, in your very own house.
Well, not so much.
Mhm.
We use really solar in the Netherlands because we stayed a long time in the Netherlands, and we were very early adapters for the
Right.
solar. But now we have also a house in Bohol, and we still have to catch up. We have to put
Yeah.
more solar, like
Yeah.
my friends were telling.
Yeah, there's that need to catch up.
Yes.
And of course, syempre, at least na interest, no? At least na motivation to actually really catch up to solar. Now, can you tell us about your personal experience with solar and clean energy, both in the Netherlands and Mindanao, sir?
Yes, yes. We started in 2003 with only 5 solar panels. No, it was a very small installation, 500 watts only. But then in 2009, we put another 10 panels on the house.
Mhm.
It was all grid tied, and it was getting better. No, they were already. It was really making a difference already.
Uh-huh.
But when we moved to another place, we put 20 panels on the roof, and now we are almost, I think, 60-70% of all our electricity is being paid by these solar panels.
Mhm.
Because in the Netherlands also, we also use electricity to heat up our house.
Uh-huh.
But and that's also difficult in the Netherlands. So we use special heat pumps to get energy from the air and to heat our houses. But luckily in Mindanao, you don't need heat pumps. It's always warm.
It's
already.
always warm
So,
here,
yes,
yeah.
yes.
Solar is free to us 24/7. Oh, not 24/7,
That's-
but the sun's always there.
That's a very big difference. Like
Yeah.
in the Netherlands, we only have sun in the summertime. You
Yeah.
know? And if you see the produce of our solar panels in the winter, it's next to nothing.
Yeah.
You know, so you can understand how much more potential solar is in Mindanao when there is always sun.
When it's
We are
always there.
very, very jealous to the
Yeah.
Filipinos because you have always sun here. You know, so how much nicer can it be? You know, to put up solar panels here.
And that's why lots of foreigners come here for the sun, for the tropics, because the Philippines is in the tropics. I don't know how it works in the Netherlands, but how much is do you pay for electricity bills there? How much is your monthly electricity bill in the Netherlands?
Well, our electricity bill has gone up really
Okay.
because now I think in the Philippines, like in Bohol, we still pay something like 14 pesos per kilowatt hour.
All right.
But in the Netherlands, we pay already 40 to 50 pesos per kilowatt hour.
Oh,
So we
okay.
pay much more. That's why it also has become so profitable to have solar in the Netherlands.
Mhm.
So even though there is only solar in the summer, still a lot of people want to put solar panels on the roof. That's
Right.
why it's so exploding in the Netherlands. You know?
Right.
Because the power is so expensive. But in the Philippines, because there is so much solar,
Mhm.
it's still very profitable to have solar power
Yeah.
here.
And I think that's what we need to know more of, that we are going to financially profit from solar. That it's not just nice to put on the roof and make you look like social mo nga pamilya. Kaya mo yung solar panels in your roof. But really, it will benefit you because it will take care of a portion of your electricity bill, make it go lower, and of course, you can earn from it. And if you watched any of our solar videos, you will realize and understand and know ngano ug paano kayo maka-benefit financially from having solar in your households. Now, let's talk about the future of Mindanao, Sir Minder, because I think you've been here for a while, and I think you'll be here for a little while longer, I believe. So, my question now is, do you see a future for Mindanao powered by clean energy and particularly solar? And if so, what do you think Mindanao needs for the future to materialize?
Oh, I think there's not only there's not only a need. There's a really an importance to go solar. You know, because of climate change. Also, we have to go towards another kind of clean energy. You know? Go away from the fuel-based energy and go more towards solar and geothermal and wind power, etc. So it's really very important. And I think Mindanao has a lot of potential for solar energy because of all the sun. But the thing that has to happen is that to make loans available for people. You know,
Yeah.
I think the big businesses, they have a clear business case. You know, they can get the loans. It's
Yeah.
very simple. But for the normal people in the houses, they should have some kind of a easy accessible loan
Yeah.
with very affordable interest rates. No, so more like it's nice if they could just pay the same amount for the electricity, but because they have solar power, they have a savings already, and from the savings they can pay back the loan, no? Something like that. So they don't have to pay more, but with the same kind of payment.
Yeah.
At the end, they will have a solar system, and they will really benefit in the future even more when the loan is being paid back. That would be nice.
And you mentioned straight up sa pagbungad natin na that you saw that the government was doing something to make sure that access that solar is accessible and that solar is cheap, do you think there also needs to, apart from loans, do you think there also needs to be changes from the policy level so that Mindanao can move towards
Yeah.
this kind of future na mas solar na?
Yeah, of course. You see, in the Netherlands, there's now a rule that by 2030, 80% of all the roofs of government buildings will have to have an alternative use.
80%?
80%
Okay,
of all
wow.
the government buildings
Okay.
has to be solar power or other kind of uses, no, but a green use. So I think it's also important that all the LGUs in the Philippines give the example of solar power. So there should not be any government building anymore in the Philippines without solar power, and that will give a real big push to normal people also to see, it can be done. Look at the barangay hall, there is solar
Yeah.
power, so we can have solar power also.
That's nice. If I were SK, no, or barangay chairperson listening here right now, that's a nice model to think about. If you have a barangay hall, a barangay council, or an office na you see na installed with solar, I think your community will start getting curious. Hala, may solar, sama ni si Kapitan, sama ni si SK.
Exactly.
Yeah, and then you can. Very great. Yeah.
Mayo,
Speaking
mayo.
of loans, actually, this Thursday for Solar Week Mindanao 2023, we will be discussing just that. Solar loans nga
Mayo.
gi-provide sa Pag-ibig. Ako, I'm just learning about this now. Wala ko kabalo. Kabalo ko na loan sa Pag-ibig. Pero wala ko kabalo nga na solar loans. And we will learn more about that this coming Thursday for Solar Week Mindanao 2023. Now, Sir Mindert, as Dutch people, as a Dutch person with a connection to the Philippines, what do you think Filipinos can learn from the Dutch? What can I learn from you, sir?
It's true, no. What Arjan also said, and Evert-Jan, it's good to be flexible and always look to new technologies, no. But it's not only the Dutch people people from the Philippines can learn from the Dutch, no. I think the Dutch people can also learn a lot from the Philippines on how to live with very, very small means, to have a life with not too much things. Because if we keep on using so many things, so many cars, so many appliances, this can also be sustained by our world, And I see so many Filipinos who live with a very small footprint, They use very small items in their house, and they can still be happy. So I think we can learn that from the Filipinos. Be happy with less things.
That's nice. I think from that answer, you learned more from us
I think so.
than the Dutch, than the Filipinos can learn from the Dutch. But no, yeah, I resonate with how Filipinos have become resourceful. But just a word of caution, sometimes the Filipinos have no choice but to be resourceful. And I think as our government institutions, our businesses and civil society organizations, the households cannot just settle for less. Sometimes we're resilient because of no choice, resourceful because of no choice, but our welfare should be under government watch, and that should be the priority of governments as well. Kasi parang end of the day, we need to ensure that we survive, yes, but it would be nicer to not only survive, but really live the kind of life that we deserve for ourselves and our households.
Siyempre.
Yes. Now, as we wrap up our discussion, Sir Mindert, do you have any final word for Mindanao Go Solar and maybe for fellow Mindanaoans all over this land of opportunity?
What I saw in the exhibition, in Ayala Centrio, was that there are really companies who have it all already worked out.
Yeah.
There is systems. They have the knowledge. They can make the whole installation for you. So it's no longer a lack of materials or a lack of knowledge. It's all there. It's just a matter of let's do it, and then I think solar will become great in Mindanao.
Yes, and any final message to Filipinos and Mindanaoans watching us right now? Mga shout-out nga in Bisaya, sir. Gi-challenge kita ka.
Akong final message na nag-meet ko, nag-ila-ila ko akong asawa din sa Cagayan de Oro. Doon din kayo sa Banas de Lara State sa Tomasaco. Uya kana ang akong kinabuhi. Marag mo nalain kayo. Uya lipay na ko nga mahitabo. So, dako akong gratitude sa mga Filipinos kay may mga akong kinabuhi tungod sa mga Filipino people.
I love it. Kung napamaayo ang kinabuhi ni Sir Minder tungod sa isa ka Pinay, basig ako pod, no? Basig kailangan na. No, no, but really, Filipinos and Mindanaoans can learn a lot from Sir Mindert and of course all our other speakers for this afternoon. And we thank you for sharing with us the vision of the Dutch community. This is not just a vision also. This is also your lived realities. Kay kamong tulo nakapuyo gyud sa Mindanao, kamong tulo naka-experience gyud sa solar, ug labi na kamong tulo kay love ninyo ang Mindanao because the love of your lives are here. And so that love now abounds to the community. So thank you so much, Sir Mindert, for having us, Sir Arian, and of course, Sir Evert for having us. Special announcement, I must announce that our guests are donating solar energy systems to an off-grid area in Mindanao. Yay! Masigaan na gyud ang atong area ani nga off-grid sa Mindanao just because they participated in Solar Week Mindanao 2023. So let's thank them. Let's give them a big round of applause. Your presence here is resulting to a donation
Mayo
to
kayo.
solar. Mayo kayo. Sir mo feeling? Okay ra?
Oh. Ay, mayo.
Very charitable. Daghang salamat, Sir Mindert. And of course, thank you po sa inyong time, which has allowed for this generous blessing of solar-powered electricity to energy-poor communities. And of course, be sure to stay tuned to our social media channels for updates on our communities that we're giving solar to. So before we go for Technical Tuesday, let's have a quick look at clips from the Solar Week exhibit venues in Ayala Abriza Mall in Davao and Ayala Centrio Mall in Cagayan de Oro. And don't forget to visit the solar charging stop. Charge your gadgets there. Post in social media and tag at mindanao.goes.solar on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. Remember that the Solar Week exhibit runs until Friday, so go over there and visit the booths of solar suppliers active in both northern and southern Mindanao. Find out about the solar services available in your region and win prizes while you're at it. Now, speaking of prizes, giingnan ko sa team nga we will be announcing our raffle winners from those who registered on site both in Abriza Mall in Davao and Ayala Centrio Mall in Cagayan de Oro City. And we are honored to be announcing the 3 winners that were drawn by the prod. And these are our winners. Congratulations to Kimsey Limpot of Deca Tegato. Congratulations also to Joseph Nixon Smotwell. And our 3rd winner is Jo Marie Daigdigan. Congratulations. If you saw your name and if you're one of the 3 winners, please know that you will be able to retrieve your prizes at Abriza Mall kung ikaw taga Davao or Centrio kung ikaw taga Cagayan de Oro. That will be available tomorrow. Congratulations to you. And for those of you who are also just tuning in, make sure to go to our solar exhibits and register so that you also have a chance to win one of our raffle prizes, which is our Mindanao Goes Solar merchandise. Cannot be found anywhere but here. Yan, congratulations to all our winners. Now, sa mga Gen Zs nga naadira, kamo ba kay woke? Woke spirit, woke culture. Well, if that is you, tune in tomorrow because tomorrow is Woke Wednesday. Agay, kanang contentious ra ba ning word nga woke, no? Kay bisan unsa nga generation na maingon about sa word nga woke. Ako, woke ba ko? Ni woke up ba ko this morning, Char? Joke lang. But let's see how it goes with our discussion about a project which is doing something untypical in this part of the world. So join us tomorrow for Woke Wednesday so that we can see, so that we can check out what's happening in the world of atypical activities and projects. Remember, we are broadcast live on the Mindanao Go Solar Movement's Facebook and YouTube channels and our streaming partners, the Association of Young Environmental Journalists, or AYEJ, and the professional organizers. We also acknowledge our media partners, Business Week Mindanao and the Mindanao Daily. That's it for me for Technical Tuesday for Solar Week Mindanao 2023. This is Val. Catch you again tomorrow. See you. Bye-bye.